Hi, I'm Jason with ABC Motorsports. Today we're going to do a simple install video on how to install the onboard air system into your RZR XP Turbo or your RZR XP Turbo S. This will fit either a 2 or 4 seat RZR. It doesn't matter which model you have. So here we go. Okay, just took the hood off the RZR. It's all stock. So the first thing I want to point out that I would suggest that you do is disconnect the battery. So you have no power here. The tools you're going to need a 40 Torx, and you're going to need a nut drive to take off the two nuts for your positive and your negative on your power bar here. And you're also going to need 2 zip ties. So what you're going to want to do is, first thing after you disconnect the battery, is you're going to take out the 3 screws, the 3 40 Torx screws. There's 2 right here that hold this OEM scoop down, and then there's 1 here in the back. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, and then we're going to take off this scoop, and we're going to disconnect the hose from the scoop. So here we go. And you might need a pair of pliers, dikes, whatever to cut this hose off of your OEM scoop. So there you go, scoop is removed. Now, the next thing we're going to do is you have a wiring harness that's connected to the frame right here. We're going to cut that loose, and then you have this wire here, both on the Turbo and the Turbo S. We just need to get both of these moved out of the way and zip tie down back to the frame so it's clear of this area here. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm using 2 zip ties. You could use more if you want, but you don't even really need to zip tie this one, just as long as it's out of the way is what's going on. But okay, after the wires moved out of the way, zip tied to the frame, next thing you do is you want to remove this screw right here, or bolt, with the 45 or the 40 Torx. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the onboard air system, and you can either, I like to kind of just set it right here and then hook my power up. You don't have to do that. You could just literally drop it in and then hook your power up. But it seems to me, after doing so many of them, that it's just as easy to go ahead and run your power now. I'm going to point out again that I did take off the battery cables, or disconnected the battery. So when you're installing it, I just want to point out a couple things. You have a continuous hot here that needs to have a line ran from your battery in order for it to work. You have the center one is your negative power. That also has to be grounded. And then you have your power that's on your ignition, on your key switch. It's not going to work unless you have it grounded. So just want to point that out. I ran into some people called me and said, hey, my air compressor won't work. And this came down to this, they never had it grounded. Here's your wiring, here's your fuse for it. Now the next thing you do is you just want to drop it right into place. So I like to kind of turn it a little at an angle, like that, and this falls right in. So then you want to you can put the original screws right back in the hole. Oh, also I want to point out that you have your radiator hose line here, and you have a channel in the box. So you could just line up the hole in the channel, or you could zip tie it down right here so it stays. However you want to do it, it's not going to move from the, once you line up the hole, it's not going to move anyways. So there. So we're going to put the screws back in the hole. If you choose, you can get a little bit longer screw. This box is a little thicker, but you don't need to. If you do get a longer screw, just make sure it doesn't go through your radiator. Okay guys, it's all installed. I do want to point out that your on-off switch is right inside here. So when you want to use it, all you need to do is turn the switch on, unroll your hose. It's going to stay there permanently. I'm going to go ahead and hook the battery back up so we can turn it on. Okay, so here it is. You got your on and off switch. And last but not least, you got your hood. Alright guys, well that includes the install. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Facebook, ABC Motorsports. You can get on my website, abcmotorsports.org. You can order it right off there. My phone number's on there. You could look me up on Instagram, YouTube. We're gonna have this actual video on YouTube, so you can go and see how to install it. And I appreciate it. Thank you.